German watch industry. It has faced some severe times after World War II. Proper high-end watchmaking didn't come back to Glashütte until the reunification of East and West Germany in 1989. Some 25 years ago, Lange Söhne was revived and came back to the town of Glashütte. And 4 years later, in 1994, they presented their first collection. Among it was the Lange One, an iconic watch by now. Recently the brand opened a new manufacturer, and today we're going to have a look at it. And we're doing this together with Wilhelm Schmid, the CEO of the brand.
Hi Frank, how are you? Fine, thanks. Very well, thank you. It's coming good to see you. I think it was 2011, at the end of 2011, we had to make a decision because we've reached our limits regarding space, we reached our limits regarding energy sufficiency, we reached our efficiency level regarding workflow, and we had to decide whether we want to stay what we were, with no chances to grow, with no chances to become more flexible or more sustainable, or if we invest into something new. And you know that we were brave enough at the time to decide to go live on the biggest project financially that this company ever has lifted. And we built a new building, and from the beginning it was clear there was an emphasis on three areas. The one area is ideal working conditions, ideal working environment for our people. That's the biggest asset of the company. I can remember, specifically at that time of the year when the first flu waves arrived, if one came sick to work, you could count the days where the bug spread through the whole room. And there were so many people in the room that we always were greatly impacted by that. Okay. So, we had to do something, or we had to accept that, the growth story, the flexibility story, the innovation story of A Lange Söhne will come to an end, and we weren't prepared for that. So, working condition, a completely controlled environment, and at the same time, sustainable use of energy. So these were the three main topics for the investment into the extension of the manufactory. Of course there is more space for more production, but I can remind everybody that a building doesn't build watches. Steel, concrete, glass, it doesn't build any watches. It's done by a watchmaker, by finisseurs, by engravers, by the people running our machines, by the toolmaker, by a constructor. And as long as we don't have more of them, it doesn't mean automatically a new building means our output, because it doesn't work like this. Luckily, I have to say. Absolutely. I'm not saying that I'm against growth, don't get me wrong. I'm actually a big favor of growth, of controlled, profitable growth. That's our strategy. Controlled, very easy, the world is growing, believe it or not. Today there are about 7 billion people living on that planet. Quite a few. A certain amount of that is wealthy. A certain amount of the wealthy people are collectors. And a certain amount of the collectors are watch collectors. That's our market. And believe it or not, very, very soon there will be 8 billion people on that planet. And the distribution of that extra billion carries the same distribution in the previous 7 billion. So again, if you just stay where you are, you will actually lose importance. You will not gain ground. So you have to cater for a certain growth if you want to stay relevant. The question is, how do you manage your growth? How do you stay exclusive and grow? And I think, with launching interesting novelties, with ensuring that you stick loyal to yourself, I always say, you have a proper foundation, but that shouldn't stop you from growing, from expanding, from pushing boundaries. I'll give you two examples for what I mean. I think not many people expected us to launch a grand complication about 2 years ago. And as we launched it, everybody was pretty astonished. And we launched the most classical watch that you can think about. A enamel dial, very old execution of perpetual calendar, you know, very, very strong links to our roots. Now, 2 years later, we launched a Zeitwerk minute repeater, a decimal repeater, that, you know, in 200 years of producing, developing minute repeater, it doesn't have a predecessor. It's the first of its kind. And that's what I mean with stretching the brand, you know, giving it new air, pushing boundaries, but at the same time staying loyal and true to what you stand for, your DNA. That's actually our set of values, you know, the promise is whatever we build has the same quality. Doesn't matter whether you buy a grand complication or a Saxonia manual watch, it's always the same quality. The difference, of course, is the number of parts, the years of development, the number of complications, the number of hours that goes into every watch, and of course that will have a difference in price, but not in quality.